What is up? Today I am going to be going over my personal thoughts on the Inkling matchup chart at a more intermediate level. There's a lot of videos out there made by top level players that talk about the matchups for specific characters, but I feel like that doesn't represent a lot of the player base of Super Smash Bros. So I would like to specifically dive into the Inkling matchup chart more at a mid-level. So this is just going to be my unbiased opinion, unscripted like I said, so let me go over it. Alright, so first of all, Inkling. So starting off with Bayonetta. I would say at like mid-level play, Bayonetta relies a lot on her ability to get in, and Inkling, having one of the best dash dances in the game, can kind of just dash back and forth and make it trickier for Bayonetta to approach. And just by like walling Bayonetta out with back airs, Inkling can do pretty well to just put up a blocking point where Bayonetta can't really get past it very easily. Alright, next looking at Bowser Jr. Same thing, back airs, just keep walling out the character with back airs. Bowser Jr. does have some, bigger disjoints with his forward and back air, but those aren't too hard to like just duck under with, the dash dance. Alright, now Bowser. This may be my personal just bias coming in here, but I do not like the Bowser matchup with Inkling, not at all. I think it is very hard for Inkling. Now I understand that Bowser can be juggled really effectively, but one of Inkling's best tools is, her rapid jab. And against Bowser, Inkling can't use rapid jab because of Tough Guy, which just means if you forget that for a second, you get command grabbed. And Inkling often has a hard time killing, so Bowser being the heaviest character in the game, it's not super easy. Falcon, still, even with the new buffs to Falcon, still a favorable matchup for Inkling. You just dash dance back and forth, and the only thing that really will hit you is Raptor Boost. You gotta watch out for that. Back airs, create a wall, just like all of these favorable characters. You just kind of create a wall with back airs. Alright, so next we got Chrom. Alright, Chrom is the first character that I will put into neutral. Inkling does struggle against sword characters. However, Chrom's a little bit different than your average sword character because of his recovery. He's really easily gimpable. But that being said, Chrom has F-tilt, kills you at 70-80% depending on like his rage or whatever. He can just F-smash you, jab to back air. There's a lot of things that Chrom can do to kill you really early, and sometimes you might be letting Chrom live to like 140 if you can't land an edge guard. Cloud, exact same thing, except Cloud, a little bit more range, a little bit better recovery in my opinion. So Cloud's a little bit more tricky, but it's the exact same thing. Corrin, where to put Corrin? I don't have a ton of offline experience. Actually, I don't even know if I have any offline experience against Corrin. So I'm leaning between unfavorable and neutral. I'm going to put it in neutral because Corrin's a little slower, so Inkling's dash can get in, get a nice grab and get some combos. Daisy. The offline experience, where's Peach while we're at it? Now, I feel like unless the Daisy or Peach really knows what they're doing with their combos, like all of these other characters, you wall them out with back air. And dash dance can be super annoying. You can dash under turnip. The one thing that you do have to watch out for though is float. You can't grab them while they're floating. Alright, the pits. Where to put the pits? The pits are kind of like a sword character where they have some range, but they just don't have the range. They've got an okay combo game now, and they've got an okay projectile, but it's just not enough to keep Inkling from playing Inkling's, game strategy. Okay, next we have the Samuses. Now, online, unfavorable, but offline, I've had only pleasant experiences with Samuses. It's so incredibly different. You can just get in, you can combo them, and they cannot keep you out. Alright, Diddy Kong, no offline experience. I do want to say that Diddy Kong probably, his aerials seem to come out a little bit faster. Don't actually know that. I'm going to say he's probably a neutral. Donkey Kong's a neutral matchup. Online, I would put Donkey Kong right here. But we're not talking about online, we're talking about offline. So we got to put Donkey Kong in the neutral matchup. Donkey Kong online and offline too is so incredibly oppressive. But Inkling offline has the tools to move around what Donkey Kong wants to do. Back air from Donkey Kong, pretty much if you're in disadvantage, you're having a bad time. You don't want to be in disadvantage. But the second you get into advantage, you're looking good. No offline experience, probably pretty similar to Samus. That's all I'm going to say. Also no offline experience. I'm going to say similar to Little Mac. I think that this is probably a winning matchup. I don't quite have the experience, but... Alright, next we've got Me Swordsman. Also, not a whole ton of experience. Because Me Swordsman is one of the worst swordsmen, and Inkling can play around all of his moves. I guess it depends on what he's running, but that's probably a pretty favorable matchup. Alright, Dr. Mario. Winning. It's like Mario, but Mario who can't recover. So I'll go more into depth of why I think Inkling beats Mario once we get there. Duck Hunt. Neutral. I don't think I have any Duck Hunt offline experience, but that being said, you can just, run around, dodge the can. You got the mobility to just dash under. You can low profile pretty much everything. So Duck Hunt has a tricky time. Falco. Falco, I think, is an unfavorable matchup. Falco's laser is able to keep you out pretty well. It's able to keep you from just back airing, which is one of Inkling's main gameplay strategies. Now, of course, there are ways you can work around this, but of course, we're not talking about optimal gameplay here. Falco has a great combo game. He has really good aerials. He's got pretty fast moves just in general. Now, Fox doesn't quite have the combo game of Falco, so you don't have to worry about getting hit a bunch of times. You just have to worry more about not getting hit at higher percents by nair to up smash. I don't have a ton of offline experience with Fox either, so I can't really speak to that, but that's just kind of what my guess would be. And Ganondorf. Oh man, okay, I've played Ganondorf once. It was the first time I went to a tournament. I lost. It was my first game. However, Ganon in general is a bad character. He's slow, he can be comboed, he can be edge guarded. So as long as you don't play scared, Inkling can do whatever Inkling wants. Greninja, I feel like, is a pretty neutral matchup to Inkling. Greninja's got a lot of fast moves. Some pretty reliable kill confirms. Inkling struggles to kill, unless you hit the booyah, of course. A character like Greninja has multiple ways of killing kind of early, so that's kind of where the balance is. Inkling, I feel like, has a little bit better than neutral, so you just kind of got to go for lots of back airs, like you do against most characters. Ice Climbers, favorable matchup. Can't change my mind there. Ice Climbers, you just dash dance and you back air. Back air him, you dash dance and you back air him, and you don't get hit. Because if you get hit by Ice Climbers, well, you take a ton of damage and, you can die. Okay, next we're looking at Ike. Ike is the first character I'm going to put as unfavorable. Ike should be pretty easy to edgeguard, but I don't personally think he is. Ike has a massive sword. It's kind of hard to get in. It's hard to dodge around nairs. Granted, I might have played an Ike once offline, but I don't think it's that different. Of course, Inkling has a little bit better control offline, but overall, Ike still has this massive wall that you have to get through. Cineroar, I have no matchup experience against, online or offline. But, actually, wait, no, I played one in Cineroar. You just gotta play really patient. If you don't play patient, you're gonna get burned. That's what it comes down to. Isabelle. Just dash dance your back air. Don't get hit by Isabelle. Make sure you get your booyah in to kill her, but overall, it's okay. Oh, I don't know. I've just played a really good Jigglypuff, maybe. I also have a Jigglypuff, so I know Jigglypuff pretty well. I still got kind of wrecked though. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna put Jigglypuff at neutral. Jigglypuff is often easily punished by, dash back F smash or dash back F tilt. Well, Inkling doesn't really have that. Inkling has back airs to wall out Jigglypuff. But when it comes down to it, Puff has some quick tools, easy ways to kill, like at 60, at 40. So I think overall, this is kind of a neutral matchup. Okay, Joker. Nah, it's not winning. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's not free. Joker, pretty good matchup. Joker can just be walled out with back airs and kind of dash dance around, and Inkling can really easily avoid Arsene. Especially if there's platforms you can jump from side to side. There's not much Joker can do. Joker really struggles, and you can edge guard Joker pretty well too. This also might just be my personal bias, but the fact that the Shotos honestly can kill so well and so early, I think makes them difficult to deal with if you're playing against a good player. In fact, I don't go Inkling against the Shotos. I go Sonic, as toxic as that is, Inkling's only multi-hit aerial is up air, and so that can make it kind of difficult when they use down B in the air, because your back air is not going to knock them out of the animation. And if you hit their shield in the wrong angle, you don't space things correctly, you die at like 80. So I think it's kind of an unfavorable matchup. DDD, favorable. There's some pretty good DDDs, and as long as you can get in past Gordo though, it's not a big deal. That's really the only thing you gotta avoid. King K. Rool, similar story. I do think that, DDD and K. Rool both are around here online, but offline. You just jump over the projectiles, dodge under them, and grab them, and you can combo them to 60. Not too bad. Kirby's kind of in that same category. I think Kirby's a little bit better online, maybe neutral online, but Inkling's just so much faster than Kirby, so much better, air drift, air speed, all of that. That offline, Kirby just gets annihilated. Granted, I've never played a Kirby, so this is all in my head, and I'll try to tell you if I've never played a character before. Link. Online, Link's right here. Offline, Link's right there. I just think that Inkling can have a hard time dealing with a ton of projectiles. Like if there's just one projectile that needs to be ducked under, makes sense. But if you're being spammed with a bunch of arrows, a bunch of bombs, and boomerangs, it can be quite difficult to get in. And I've heard this from a lot of people, that it's hard to get in against Links if the Links are good. Little Mac. Of course, this is winning. You platform camp, you edge guard, and that's all you need to do. Simple as that. Okay, I've never played Lucario offline, but I feel like it's probably pretty similar to online. No, we're gonna put it here. And the only reason I'm putting it there is because Inkling kind of struggles to kill. So if Lucario can build up Aura and Rage, you die. You know how it goes. Next character, we have Lucas. I think that's a pretty favorable matchup. Inkling can edgeguard Lucas. PK Fire is not too difficult to get around, and he's kind of reliant on his specials, which Inkling can just get in and grab him. Man, now I know I've been talking about how Inkling loses to swords, and I know that I'm putting all of these sword characters in neutral, but Inkling can do decently against Lucina. Inkling can kind of edgeguard Lucina back. Things are a little bit trickier. As long as you can avoid the sword, then you're completely fine. However, that can be difficult at times. I said I was going to go in alphabetical order, but for example, here's a character I think Inkling that has an unfavorable matchup against. Sheik just has such a bigger range that Inkling has a really hard time getting in, especially if they're just spamming there, similar to Mike. Luigi, as long as you can avoid the grab, you can just back air Luigi. You can space it out so you can't get upbeat out of shield. You can edge guard Luigi. I think that's a pretty winning matchup. Okay, next we got Mario. So Mario, I think, is a favorable matchup. Mario has Fireball, and I think that's Mario's best tool against Inkling. Of course, besides like just a combo game. But Mario doesn't have great range, so Inkling can just outspace Mario with back airs. Inkling has a disjoint back air. I'm not entirely sure if Mario's back air is disjoint. I wouldn't think it is. Inkling just overall kind of out-prioritizes Mario. Marth. I don't think that this is any different than Lucina, even though they're different characters. Mega Man, I think, is kind of unfavorable for two reasons. One, because of Mega Man's projectiles. Mega Man can just run back and shoot a bunch of projectiles, and similar to Link, it can be kind of hard to get in against that. And two, Inkling is a fairly predictable and linear recovery. So a lot of the times Mega Man's down air will spike Inkling if you're not careful. Meta Knight. I've never played a Meta Knight, but Meta Knight has a sword. Meta Knight's fast, and Meta Knight overall is an okay character. It's got some good ability to edgeguard, good combo game. It's probably pretty neutral is my guess. Mewtwo's a big body. Wait, what am I doing? Mewtwo's a big body. Mewtwo can get comboed really easily. Mewtwo is light. That is what you like to hear when you're Inkling. Shadow Ball isn't too big of an issue. Just overall, you can work around a lot of Mewtwo's kit. Alright. Game & Watch. Game & Watch is kind of tricky because Inkling, you need to really space back air. Roller, you can't really use roller for fear of up B. Just overall, up B out of shield kind of counters a lot of what Inkling wants to do. And, you know, even if you go for grab, you can still get up B out of shield if you're not perfect on the timing. So I think Game & Watch can be kind of tricky. Ness. Ness is like Lucas, but slightly better just because Ness has a slightly better combo game. Still, you can edgeguard Ness. You can do a lot of things to kind of screw with Ness, but Ness has some tools in this kit that would put Inkling in disadvantage a little bit more than Inkling would like to be. I don't have any Olimar matchup experience offline. Olimar can be kind of annoying, but back air kills the Pac-Man usually. So as long as you're able to hit Olimar, then you can probably get in and kill him. That's my guess. Pac-Man is another unfavorable matchup. I've always found that Pac-Man has just so many tools to keep you out, whether that be Hydrant or many of his bonus fruits. He's just got a lot of mix-up that can be tricky to deal with and not always super easy to low profile. Okay, next we have Palutena. Palutena, I would say, is a pretty neutral matchup. If you know the Palutena matchup, which if you don't, I don't know where you've been because everyone plays Palutena. You probably have realized that Palutena's got some decent priority moves with like Invincible Shield on back air and dash attack, but at the same time, Inkling can just dash away and back air and dash away and back air. Palutena doesn't really have any projectiles to keep you out, and if you just dash dance back and forth, yeah, you know, just like a lot of characters, it can be pretty tricky. Pichu, favorable matchup. Pichu super light. Of course, Thunder Jolt's kind of difficult to deal with because you can't just dash dance, but you can kill Pichu pretty early. Wait, did I say he was super edge guardable? If I did, forget about that one. He's not super edge guardable, but he's still really light and pretty easy to kill. He's a lot different than Pikachu, because Pikachu, I think, we're keeping this in alphabetical order the best we can, is an unfavorable matchup. I would say that Pikachu, for like one reason, is an unfavorable matchup is Thunder Jolt, but unlike Pichu, Thunder Jolt doesn't hurt Pikachu, so you can spam it infinitely pretty much, and there's not really much there's no real downside to that. That forces Inkling to approach, and you know, Pikachu is a great recovery, really hard to edge guard, and a lot of Pikachu's combos just work on Inkling. Alright, Piranha Plant. Believe it or not, the only Piranha Plant that I have ever played offline was Best Ness's, so in my experience, it's really losing. Okay, but like assuming that I'm not playing Best Ness, where am I putting Piranha Plant? I don't know. It's probably neutral, but I have to go unfavorable. Mostly because I think Spike Balls are the neutral beam. Yeah, that move, whatever it is, really annoying, you know. I think that Piranha Plant has really good tools to deal with Inkling. You know, Inkling's linear recovery that we talked about a little bit earlier. Piranha Plant's down B can kind of take care of that too. Actually, no, I'm going to put it in neutral. I played Best Nessus Plant twice, and the second time when I actually, you know, had a lot more experience than I did when I started playing, it went a little bit better than the first time. So I think it'll probably be a favorable matchup, but that is what you got to watch out for if you're playing against Plant. Next, we're looking at Pokemon Trainer. Pokemon Trainer, just overall, very solid character. Lots of things that makes you up. As long as you can avoid getting spiked by Ivysaur, then you can kill Squirtle really easily. You can edge guard Ivysaur, and you can combo Charizard. Very good character that you're playing against. They have plenty of tools to deal with you too. Alright, let's grab the Belmonts. Actually, while I'm at it, I already explained Ryu, or Ken, so I'm gonna throw Ryu in there with Ken because I think it's the same thing. Belmonts. The only thing Inkling has on the Belmonts is edge guarding. Inkling can edge guard the Belmonts, which makes it tricky for the Belmonts, but besides that, the Belmonts can pretty easily keep Inkling out if they're decent at the game. Ridley is a favorable matchup. You can combo Ridley's pretty hard. I've never played a Ridley offline, I will say that, but I feel like it's probably a better matchup offline than it is online. So you can just combo Ridley, you can do a lot of things, it makes it tricky for them. And yeah, you get your kills. Robin, I've never played a Robin, but Robin's either neutral or unfavorable. I'm going to put in neutral. I would put unfavorable if we were talking about online, but we're not talking about online. Robin's side B, although you can dash under and grab Robin or jab Robin. Robin's neutral B and Robin's just sword in general are incredibly strong. So if you can avoid all those, you're doing great, you're winning. Okay, similarly, the only Rob I have ever played was Best Nessus. But in all reality, I think it's probably just an unfavorable matchup because Rob has great moves, lots of disjoint, and can kind of just create a wall. And if you can combo Rob, great. If you can edgeguard Rob, great. But those things, okay, comboing Rob's pretty easy, but edgeguarding Rob can get kind of tricky. I'm gonna put Rosalina and Luma here specifically because Luma creates a wall. Now, I've played against Rosalina and Luma like once, and I did find it kind of tricky. And if I remember Cosmos' set against the Buzz, where Cosmos had to switch to pre-patch Corrin, where Corrin was terrible to take out Rosalina and Luma, I think that this is a justifiable thought, even if I am talking about mid-level play, because Luma's just such a nuisance. Roy, unfavorable sword character, but this sword character just kills you at 40 or 50. You know, you just die. So it's everything a sword character has, but you also just die. Unfavorable. Sheik, if it's a really good Sheik, you know, you're probably not playing the game and you're just getting comboed for days and taking 40%. Granted, you're only taking 40%. I've never played a Sheik offline, so I don't actually know. It's probably one of these two. I'll just put it in neutral. But yeah, you can just kind of play your game, dash back and forth, and you know how it goes. Snake, neutral. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The only Snake I've played offline has been Best Nessus. There, once again, I got wrecked. Actually, I didn't even get wrecked. I did okay, which makes me think it's probably a favorable matchup. I know that Inkling actually beats Snake in all reality, at top level, but I feel like Snake just can't quite create the wall that he can on a lot of characters because Inkling can just dash under grenade. Inkling's okay taking percent, and Inkling wants Snake to take percent, so I don't feel like that's too bad of a matchup. Sonic is Sonic. I've only played against Valor, who's the second best in our region. Inkling is supposed to beat Sonic, and Inkling can deal with Spin Dash pretty well with, Splatter Shot or whatever. But Sonic will do Sonic things. Young Link, similar to the other Link. So yeah, Yink is much more capable of walling out Inkling. If you know what you're doing, it's not that bad of a matchup. But overall, I think it's right there. Villager, pretty neutral matchup. Villager can kind of wall out Inkling too, but Villager's also kind of sluggish, so you can back air Villager just like you could any other character. Wario, every time you try to hit Wario, he just out-prioritizes you. You try to back air him. His forward air beats your back air. His neutral air beats like your back air. It's just insane. There's nothing you can do in this matchup, in my opinion. Prove me wrong. Some Wario come lose to me. If you can find me on stream, I don't stream very often, but twitch.tv/Remortals, favorable matchup right here. We've got Wii Fit Trainer. Inkling's just super fast. You can deal with Wii Fit Trainer's projectiles. You can edge guard Wii Fit Trainer importantly. Wolf, unfavorable matchup. Wolf is... Okay, we'll put Wolf as losing too. Wolf is like a sword character that also has a gun. So you can't just back air, because, laser will come out. You can't just run in because forward air or forward tilt, all that stuff comes out. So Wolf can be pretty tricky to deal with. If you can get an edge guard on Wolf, you're probably looking pretty good, but overall I think Wolf is kind of difficult to deal with. Yoshi, maybe I just hate Yoshi, but Yoshi just sucks to play against. Does anyone play against Yoshi and think this is a fun time? No. You just get depression and be like, man, I don't want to do this anymore, and you'll give up. At least that's been my experience. Zelda, it's a pretty neutral matchup. Zelda can kind of wall out Inkling with Phantom and side B and neutral B, but Inkling's combo game against Zelda is pretty decent. ZSS, dash dance, back air. Pretty easy. I'm sorry, I'm going fast now. Hero. Hero's a sword character with the best projectiles in the game, with Kaboom. Magic Burst isn't a projectile, but Magic Burst is the best move in the game for sure. Hero is a very unfavorable matchup, at least if you're not able to get in, which I feel like it's pretty hard at mid-level. Banjo and Kazooie. They can kind of wall you out, but you can also edge guard them, which makes it kind of trickier for them. But if you can combo them, if you can back air them, if you can dash dance around their moves, duck under them, you're playing okay. Alright, Terry, we're looking at a favorable matchup. I almost want to put Terry as a winning matchup. Border, I'll put Terry as winning. Terry, very strong character. But Terry has to, you can just down smash Terry. And Terry dies if they don't sweet spot the ledge. And of course, Terry can recover high, but you've got back air to deal with that. You've got a good punish game. So overall, I think Terry kind of struggles. As long as, Terry does not go for half the game. Byleth, pretty neutral. Byleth is slow, but Byleth has big range. I've never played a Byleth offline. Never played a Byleth offline, but that's kind of my first take on it. Min, I think is a favorable matchup. Online is probably neutral, but offline, you're able to just get in, grab, move around, get your kills. As long as they're throwing up the smash attacks. But yeah, that's been it, boys. I know you're going to disagree with me, but hit that like and subscribe if you didn't. Alright, see you guys later.